picking an objective based on whether the process to get there is fun or whether the outcome is what you want. Now, ideally, it can be both, right? And part of what triggers me to think along these lines is, personally, I'm kind of thinking, or kind of weighing these days a little bit, like, where am I going in the next 5 to 10 years? What's my goal professionally? And I saw a YouTube short with this lady. I guess she's a hospice nurse or something. She's been at the bedside of many people who've died, and she listed some of the top regrets. One of them was that people didn't take action on goals because it would take a long time to get there. And I guess what you realize at the end of life, and I think I'm even starting to realize now, is that 5 or 10 years that it might take to reach a goal, it's going to pass anyway. The question is, are you going to capitalize on that time, on those next 5 to 10 years, to achieve that goal, or is it just going to slip by without any action towards that goal? Now, back to the original question. How do you pick a goal? Do you pick a goal based on the outcome, or do you pick a goal on the process? And I really think it needs to be, as I'm thinking about it here, I think it needs to be both, right? Because 5 to 10 years is a long time to grind away at in a process that you don't enjoy. So that sounds miserable. On the other hand, 5 to 10 years spent doing things that don't get you. So at the end of 10 years, either the goal is a bad one or I don't have any goal. That's not great either. Like, that's like if it's just, if I just optimize for my current personal satisfaction without respect to the long-term consequences, that also seems really short-sighted. And you could argue that's not really picking a goal. That's just doing what you like right now. So it seems to me that perhaps, I wonder if the better way to approach this question is, what do I enjoy doing now? Or what are activities that I do enjoy, for starters? And then, what are some of those activities, or what's an activity that I find enjoyable, that if I tweaked in a certain direction, or if I did a certain, put it in a, basically, yeah, let's say there's an activity that I enjoy, let's say I put it in a certain direction. So let's say I enjoy having conversations with people about ideas, and so now, rather than just doing it haphazardly whenever it happens after church or whatever, now I actually schedule it, and either it's a networking tool, or it's a podcast, or something like that. And it may take 10 years for it to produce anything like of extreme, a really high value, let's say. And then, so anyway, so going back to the illustration, so let's say, okay, well, how about the goal then is to have a podcast where we explore ideas, and I create an audience, and that audience I will then be able to monetize in some way. So I'll be able to sell them a product of some type, whether it's in the business world or in the direct-to-consumer world. I will have a product of some type to sell to them. And so that's just a very simple and perhaps a little bit of a lame example of take an activity that you enjoy, think about the possibilities for a long-term payoff from those things. Like, if you did this thing you enjoy consistently with a purpose, you did it in a smart way to where you're not wasting a lot of effort, it's very targeted. What could you do with that? Add consistent activity plus time equals what cool outcome could you get? So, and then hopefully you don't have to choose between desirable outcome and desirable process, but you can enjoy both the process to help you stick with it, and so that your life is not misery, and a good outcome, so that in 10 years from now, you can look back with satisfaction knowing that you have taken action towards a goal, and that regardless of whether the result is exactly what you envisioned, almost certainly there will be some type of net positive result when you do consistency plus time to that extent. So there are my thoughts on this idea.